The NHL has suspended Bruins forward David Backes for 3 games for his hit on Detroit forward Franz Nielsen the other night. I want to discuss the suspension and determine if the NHL made the right call here. And that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We'll review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top, Boston Bruins forward David Backes has been suspended for 3 games for his hit on Detroit Red Wings forward Franz Nielsen the other night. Now if you haven't seen the play, there is a link to the NHL player safety video down in the description. You can watch the play and hear their rationale for their suspension that they've handed out here to Backes for 3 games. So basically, to summarize what happened, as the puck comes up around the boards, Nielsen plays it, chips it off into the middle to be moved out of the zone. David Backes comes in. The hit is definitely late, there's no doubt about that, and he does make contact with Nielsen's head. I watched the video enough times. I'm not convinced that the hit to the head was intentional at all. I think it's just because Backes is a fairly big, tall guy and his shoulder makes contact with Nielsen's head. Certainly don't think there was anything deliberate about it, although the whole situation could have been avoided because it was clearly a late hit. Once the puck was chipped off of Nielsen, Pastrnak intercepted the puck and he was already making his next move with the puck when the hit took place. So it was definitely late, could have been avoided, none of this would have happened. However, let's take a look at the reasoning here for the NHL giving him 3 games. Is the hit late? Yes, it is considered interference. It is a situation where contact to the head was made. I understand that's something they're trying to really get out of the game, and it's difficult at times, and these players do need to have additional discipline at times to learn from their mistakes. But here's the thing that gets me, is I just find the NHL has been terribly inconsistent all year with these types of calls. David Backes has played well over 800 NHL games, has no prior history of suspension or fines. He does play a physical type of game, so for him to never have any encounters with player safety up until this point, that's saying something. Obviously he plays on the line, but he's a clean player and never had a prior history. You could tell, obviously, that he did try to, when he went into Nielsen, he tried to minimize the effect on him. There was still contact made to the head, which, like I said, was, in my opinion, it looks accidental. But, you know, it doesn't matter if it's accidental or not. I do understand the NHL has to do something about it, per se. But it's one of those cases where you look at it, and the fact that he's suspended, I don't think is completely an issue here. But I thought maybe 1 game, maybe 2, but I think 3 is a little bit excessive here. We've certainly seen lots of other hits this year, a lot of first-time offenders, some repeat offenders, and there just doesn't seem to be a lot of consistency, in my opinion, on a lot of these calls. I mean, look, you know, there's been plenty of other things we could take a look at. I've seen other first-time offenders get 1 game, 2 games, and some of these hits look just as bad, if not worse, than this one. Nielsen was injured on the play, I guess, but really, I don't know. I don't think 3 games here. I think it's too much. I do think a small suspension is likely justified, or maybe even a fine. And I'm not going to completely excuse him for the fact that the hit was really late, and that was to me, if that could have been avoided, then the head contact never would have happened, and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So it was a bad choice, but he's got no priors, and really, at the end of the day, to me, it could have been significantly worse, and we've seen other plays, to me, that looked worse and got less this year. So I just wish the NHL would work on being more consistent. Obviously, there's a lot of areas they need to get better at, but their player safety calls on suspensions, you know, with goalie interference, like there's just a lot of things. It's really hard to predict what's going to happen when you see these plays happen, because you don't know how the NHL is going to view it. You know, you see a goal, and sometimes you're like, well, maybe it's goalie interference, maybe it's not. Then you see a hit like this, and you're like, well, maybe he'll get a hearing. Maybe he won't, and then you try to predict how many games, and it's just, you can't do it because they're all over the place with when they're handing this stuff out and making these decisions. So leave some comments down below. What do you think of Backes' suspension? Do you think it was justified? Do you think 3 games is fair, or do you think it's too much? Certainly join the conversation in the comment section below, and we can discuss this further. Again, if you haven't seen the play, there's a link down below in the description, so you can go check it out and form your opinion before you leave a comment. If you're new to the channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing. We cover all 31 teams, and we have daily uploads here, often more than 1 upload per day. If you're also new to the channel and haven't checked us out on social media yet, please go ahead and do so. All the links are down below in the description. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, so check those out. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.